What up, what up, what up, Madisons? So, today, we are not doing a regular old vlog like you're used to seeing on Saturday mornings. We're actually doing a Q&A. And I know a lot of people like these because you get to learn a little bit more about us. And it's more than just seeing the daily life, daily things that we're doing. And we're actually doing this today because last weekend, we actually went to the lake house with Madison's family, specifically her 4 little nephews. And we had so much fun and we did so many fun things. But unfortunately, her sister has this relatively new policy of not really wanting the kids to be on the internet.
Yeah, it's really odd because Shelby is a YouTuber, obviously. So my nephew was like, I want to be a YouTuber. Like, look at all this like stuff Shelby gets just because she's a YouTuber.
Oh, but
for,
that's just
PR.
like, that's just a thing for kids now. Like, kids want to be YouTubers, not just because I am.
Well, it also helps that you are, right?
They're more intrigued by it because they know somebody, yeah.
Yeah, and then every time he would say something, his mom would be like, no, you're not doing that. Your face is not going all over the internet. So,
I mean, like, we have very conflicting opinions about this, not like between each other, but like us between her, because the future is the internet. Like, this is the future, and you're blocking your kids out from that. But also, we don't have kids, and like, whatever, you know, we'll see what happens when we do. But yeah, anyway, the point is we were with them last weekend, and we didn't get to vlog it, so we don't have a vlog because we vlog on the weekends, we post for you guys the next weekend. That's just how our schedule works out. So naturally, we had to fill this with something. So here's the Q&A for you,
which I posted on my Instagram. So for the next Q&A, if and when it is, I'll put it on my Instagram and you all can submit questions you might have for us. But these questions came from Instagram, so we're answering them today.
Yeah. All right, Madison has the first question.
All right. Question number 1. Does Madison have tattoos / want any? Does Shelby have plans for more? And that's actually a pretty interesting conversation. I do not like tattoos, like at all. I can't ever see myself getting a tattoo. I just don't find them appealing. I don't want to have something put on my body like that. I'm completely against it personally.
Not against it. You just don't want it on your body. Like saying I'm against tattoos is like extreme.
Well, no. I'm against it for me. Like, I have no issues with whatever other people choose to do, but just for me, like, I would never get a tattoo.
What a lame-o. I've been trying to convince her to get a tattoo with me for years.
Oh yeah, she has been. She's been like, oh, we should get a couple's tattoo, or were we playing with the idea of getting a ring tattoo?
When we first got together, remember we pulled that like we're engaged shit when we've been dating for like 2 months? And I was this close to convincing her to do that. But then, no, we never did it, yeah.
Yeah, and then also more recently, my sister got a tattoo of a hummingbird because my mom was super into hummingbirds, and she actually would have gotten a tattoo if it hadn't been for cancer. You're not supposed to get tattoos when you have cancer, I guess, because it can mess with things. But I still was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, I can find other ways to remember mom, but again, like, tattoos just aren't my thing. And then I guess the next part of that is, what tattoos do you have, and if you're planning on getting any more?
Well, my sister's outside right now, but between you and me,
speak up.
We were supposed to get tattoos together, and then she decided to go get matching tattoos with her friends when I was out of town, and that was her only tattoo ever, and the only tattoo she ever said she wanted was matching with me. So that's a little sketch right now. We'll report back. But also one other thing, let me get you guys situated. One other thing is also that I said once I got my quote copyrighted, trademarked, that I would get it put on my body. Of course, that happened during COVID, so I haven't gone to go get the tattoo because it's just not like a high priority when everything in the world is going on. So
yeah, and there's always the concern with like, are they cleaning things well? And it's just not really a necessity right now, like say going to the grocery store is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been postponed for now for Shelby, but she does have tattoos.
Yeah, I actually get asked quite a bit if I would ever do like a tattoo tour.
Ooh.
There's a video on my channel of all my tattoos. I haven't gotten one since I did that video.
There you go.
And I only have 3. I don't have that many. So, yeah.
What are they?
I'm not doing all that right here. I have a video on my channel.
All right, we'll link to the video.
Up there. Okay. Another question you guys had. Shelby, I remember you starting a budgeting book. How is it going? I thought this could be fun. A lot of people, because we reference it here and there in our videos, are like, Madison, you know everything about finance.
Oh, no.
Please talk about finance. I want to hear about finance from you guys. Or like when I reference it on my channel, I'm always like, yo, I don't know what we're doing with our money. Like, that's all Madison. Like, but Madison's not some sort of like finance guru. She's
Not at
just
all.
like, you know, someone who takes the initiative in this relationship to handle our finances, not like, you know, whatever. I did finish that budgeting workbook within like the first couple months after I started it. It was an eye-opener, but also like I already am very conscious of my spending. But I think it's really easy for me in this job to buy something and be like, oh, that's for work.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I will excuse buying something so much easier if it's for work than if it's just for me. I don't know. I think my spending was in a really good place, but I think it's a really good, the budgeting workbook I did, I'll link it below if I can remember to, but it kind of breaks down finances based on like the psychology of it and like if that makes any sense, like the bigger picture than just like Dave Ramsey would be like, oh, pay off all your debt and like fuck the whatever.
Yeah, I feel like it's way more complicated than some people like say. Like when people are like, millennials should just stop buying avocado toast, and you look at your finances and you're like, I didn't buy any avocado toast actually, and I'm still in a not so
not
great
a good
position.
place. Yeah. I've been trying to convince, okay, this is like side note. I've been trying to convince Madison to start a podcast about sustainable financing or just like talking about economics and sustainability in one. And she has a friend who's also super into that, but they're both, you're not really flaky, but he's quite flaky. And then like Madison's not really like hey, did you do that? Hey, did you do that? Like she's not a poker.
Yeah.
So it's not a good combination. So it just hasn't come to fruition yet.
Yeah, but I mean, it might someday. Who knows? Relatively soon. All right, question number 3 goes to me, and it says, favorite at-home / tech-free activity, like a weekend's amount of time. Oh my gosh, I guess y'all have kind of seen this on the vlog channel, but we've gotten super into gardening. Like, it's such a great,
time sucker.
Yeah, to basically be transforming our entire backyard. Like one weekend we're like putting up hanging chairs, the next weekend we're like starting a freaking whole nother garden bed, or
removing stuff from the garden,
or like going to get dirt,
planting seeds. It's a very time consuming hobby, and it's really the only hobby, well, other than Pokemon. But I actually thought that we should answer this question because you guys asked for tech-free activities, and we have a unique view on tech than I think a lot of people on the internet do.
Yeah, we don't really have problems with technology. Like, we don't have a TV in our house, and we don't just sit around and kind of like twiddle on our phones all the time. We're like working, and then when we have free time, we spend it together. We're literally always in the garden, or recently we've been like taking little short hikes or trips. Like
we travel, I think.
Yeah, we travel.
We used to travel a lot more.
Yeah.
Obviously less now, but also more now than at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Like we're actually getting to go places now, which feels really good. But I mean, we just don't really like, a lot of people on the internet will do like these 30-day breaks without their phone.
Oh,
or
wow.
they do these like no phones on the weekend, no phones after like 8 p.m., stuff like that. I've never had a problem with my phone. Like even on the Instagram app, even though Instagram is technically part of my job, the app will tell you how long you spend on the app a day. Mine's always under an hour. I don't do the scrolling thing. I don't do the stay on social media all the time, always on my phone thing. That's just not my thing. So I've never felt like attached to it or like addicted to it or negatively impacted by it.
Yeah, I guess same here. And when I have a personality that's very much like do it all or don't do it most of the time. So at the beginning of quarantine, I felt like I was kind of getting that way with TikTok.
Oh yeah.
And when I was like, oh, okay, 4 hours has gone by and I'm on TikTok, I realized like I had to shut that down. Like I was losing control and like hours are going by. So sometimes you do have to unplug when things get like that, but for the most part, we don't really have any issues with tech, and we love being outside anyway. That's just like what we enjoy with one another.
Yeah, well, also like the only activity that we do other than gardening and traveling is literally a tech-related activity, Pokemon.
Yeah.
So while yes, you're outside and yes, you're doing stuff and yes, it's a hobby, still on my phone. And I don't see a problem with that. I just personally haven't had problems with that. All right, so a lot of people want the sustainability cat video. It's coming. I was planning on addressing this in that video, and I probably will address it there too. But a lot of people want to know, how did Tippy get his name? How weird.
Should we bring him over?
No, leave him alone. He's laying over there on the shoe rack. He literally went.
Yeah, he went, and he's like, I'm not coming over there.
So I can't believe I've never talked about this online, but I can't think of a time that I did. So Tippy was part of, I'm not sure, part of a litter of stray cats that my mom had, and he was rejected by his mom. So he showed up on my front porch one day. I was living in an extra house that my parents had. He showed up on my front porch one day, and I tried to go put him back with the litter that I assumed he came from, and they kicked him out again. He showed up on my front porch the very next day and would not leave. And actually the cat that lives in our backyard did something similar with one of her kittens. So now I'm realizing that he was just rejected by his mom. And I always say Tippy is a little bit slow. He's a little bit special. And I think that that's why, which is sad, but I think that's why. So I decided to take him in and make him mine. And I was really into rewatching Boy Meets World at the time. I was living by myself. Oh my God, this was literally a year to 2-ish years of my life where I was depressed, trying to find myself. I wasn't eating. It was a really bad time in my life. Yeah. So basically I would sit at home by myself with my cat and watch Boy Meets World. And one of my favorite characters from that show is obviously Topanga. I think she and I are very similar. Like, she's very earth-minded, and her parents were all weird and hippie. Not that my parents are, but
I was like, wait a second.
But that I am. I just related to her a lot, and her name was cool. And one episode I heard her dad call her Tippy. Topanga, Tippy. And before I found out Tippy was a boy, I just wanted to name him Topanga. But then I found out he was a boy, and I was like, oh, okay, Tippy's fine.
And it also ended up working out really well because Tippy, conveniently enough, has a tip of white on his tail. All right, next question to me. It says, why do you guys don't want to leave San Antonio? And I think there was a typo here, but basically what they're saying, or what I think they're trying to say, is, why do you guys want to leave San Antonio? And it was always supposed to be a temporary move, so I'm really bad at trying new things at times, and the only way to try new things, like I just mentioned, for me is just to go all in. And we've kind of lived in Houston, we've lived in Austin, and it was the next major city that was like still pretty close to where my office is, where I used to work in office. Now I'm kind of remote. But yeah, it was supposed to be a trial period and just getting to know the city and trying things different, and we've tried it out, and I honestly think we like Austin a little bit better. So that's why we're making the decision to go back to Austin eventually. So another question was, any updates on moving back to Austin? Guys, right now things are freaking crazy with COVID and renters and all that fun stuff, but our goal is potentially sometime next year, but it really just depends on what the world and stuff looks like. But I feel like you got to put a goal out there to work towards it, so that's what we're currently working towards. But there's just so much going on. And because part of our plan would be for Shelby's sister to graduate before we start looking, which she's slated to graduate at the end of December, so.
Yeah, then we'll start looking at the housing market in Austin and seeing what we can afford, which we glanced at it the other day.
It's getting pretty crazy.
I mean, it's really unfortunate because really when we moved here, we couldn't afford a house that we would have been happy with in Austin, and now we can afford it, but like we don't fucking want to pay that for a house, you know?
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe we end up staying in San Antonio. Maybe San Antonio grows the same way Austin did. Who knows? But yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, so we will see. Stay tuned.
All right, someone asked, what type of content do you consume apart from sustainability content? I'm going to go first.
You gonna tell the truth?
What do you mean?
You watching some Trisha Paytas?
Oh, I have become the biggest fan of frenemies, y'all. I wasn't the biggest fan of Ethan and Hila, H3 before the frenemies thing, and I Trisha Paytas was like a bad habit for me for like literally a decade. I've been watching her for as long as I can remember watching YouTube, which has been about 10 years now. And when they just came together, just something about the dynamic, and Trisha finally also not just being a piece of shit troll. She's actually like a half decent, like conscious human being now, which is cool to see her like evolve in that way. Yeah, why would I not tell them? I think I've talked about many times my dirty like secret of watching Trisha Paytas.
She just totally is a dirty secret. That's what, like, I don't know if Shelby will come out and say
No,
that.
I've said it online many times. Definitely when I used to do more live streams, yeah, I've said it. Honestly, I don't watch any sustainability content anymore at all. I never really did. I watch my friends to be supportive, right? Like Megan Hughes, Emmy, obviously love Emmy. I still watch Lindsay Hughes. She's like vlog lifestyle, which I love her. Again, been watching her for so long, but now she's like hinting at sustainability. Who else do I watch? I watch Tara Michelle. I kind of got roped into her lifestyle videos when her whole neighbor fiasco was going down. I'm subscribed to hundreds of people, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, but on a daily basis, those are the people who first come to mind. I'm trying to think. Matt Diavella. I go through phases of watching everybody. I watch Philip DeFranco every single day. I'm just trying to think of my usuals. I watch YouTube like all day long. I am a YouTube kid through and through. This one, I don't know about so much.
Yeah, so previous to me like getting super invested and trying to be consistent on YouTube, all I ever watched YouTube for was how-to videos when things are broken. But now as our content my content is like transforming more into like vlog style, I try to watch a lot of vloggers to like see what I should be replicating. So I watch a lot of like Eamon and Beck with their weekly uploads. I watch Casey Neistat, even though his content is old, it's like he's the king of vlog style content. Peter McKinnon, yes, recently, to try and learn about like cameras and camera settings, and he also has like great content. And then I also like a lot of like business investing channels like Graham Stephan.
Oh, I watch Graham sometimes.
Jaspreet Singh is really good one. Minority Mindset.
Have you ever watched Financial Diet? Mm-mm. They're also kind of cool. They're like feminist kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm watching. I'm either watching stuff about like real estate and houses and investing, or I'm watching like vlog style content to try and like beef up my craft.
Oh, I also watch Epic Gardening. Love him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I hesitate a lot when people ask me for advice about something that I'm like experimenting in, or I've said that I'm expressing interest in. Like, you just hinted at the fact that you watch investment stuff and you watch real estate stuff, and so people be like, can you tell us, like, give us advice, or like make a video about it or whatever. And it's like, you're just regurgitating what someone else on the internet already provided for you.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's right to go and then like share it like you're some sort of authority in the space. Mm-hmm. I've been getting a lot of requests lately to make more content around gardening, but then that would literally just me be like watching Epic Gardener, Kevin is his name, watching his stuff and then like remaking his videos, and that feels wrong.
A little copyrighted.
Yeah, I don't like to do that. So anyway, yeah, okay. Do you have another one, or is that it?
I have one more. Literally, I'm realizing so much we are a do it or don't do it kind of couple. Like, we don't watch TV, right? But this next question is, what's your favorite Netflix show? And it's like, when we pick a Netflix show, we're like binging.
And then it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, you're watching Ozarks? 24 hours later, oh, you're done watching Ozarks? Literally.
It's crazy how we like, or sometimes it'll take us like a week, but it's like no sleep, going to sleep at like 4 a.m. Like, it's nuts. But since quarantine started, I think our favorite one has been Ozarks.
Yeah.
We love the Ozarks. It was so good.
And it's coming back in a week.
Oh, well, you know, we'll be doing it in a week.
I think, but really we didn't watch Netflix, and we still don't really watch Netflix. But at the beginning of quarantine, it was like I was getting nothing done. Yeah. I was going through a serious like depression. And then Madison was also feeling like she didn't want to do anything. There was so much uncertainty in her job, in my job, in the beginning of all this, and like all we did was watch Netflix, and Ozarks was by far our favorite.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so that's exciting to know that one is starting up in a week, but hands down, like, Ozark's pretty good.
Before I tell you what this question is, and before we answer it, give this video a thumbs up. We are about to tell you the most embarrassing stories of our lives.
And also don't forget to subscribe.
You know, I honestly don't have much of a filter. There's not much about myself personally that I won't share, hence the story I'm about to tell you. So it doesn't really bother me all that much. I think I get more excited to say it and then to read the comments and have people laugh along with me. Or for you to tell us your most embarrassing story in the comments. So,
game on.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I mean, you hyped them up. You got to go first.
All right. So, okay. So when I was a kid, Dairy Queen was like a pretty normal thing for my family. Like I would say like every other weekend probably, Dairy Queen was just like we're gonna go get Dairy Queen.
Okay.
Then when I got a little bit older, Dairy Queen started running commercials on TV. And their slogan, what was it? DQ, that's what I like about Texas. So I thought Dairy Queen was a local fucking business, okay? So then getting into my like late teens, early 20s, I'm like, hell yeah, I like Dairy Queen. Like it's a local business. I'm all about that local business life. Like I only shop at local grocery stores, H-E-B, Central Market, not only, but primarily because I like to support local businesses. It's like a thing. Anyway. I thought Dairy Queen was a local business, okay. Fast forward to when we took our trip to China, the other side of the world. We were in a mall in Qingdao, and I walked into this food court, and behold, a Dairy Queen. And still at this point, I did not realize that Dairy Queen was not just a Texas thing. I literally thought, oh my God, there's a Dairy Queen here? Like they have one Dairy Queen outside of Texas and it's in this mall in China?
Wow, I remember that. I was there for that.
Anyway.
Her mind literally exploded. I was like, are you serious? Come on.
Anyway.
I knew. I totally
Why didn't you ever tell me?
Because I thought you knew. Like, I feel like Texans are very like, Texas. So when people advertise and market things, it's like, built for Texas tough. Yeah. Dairy Queen, that's what I love about, like, how my voice changed.
But the Ford commercials do sound like that.
Yeah, but it's because Texans are like, Texas. So, yeah, I knew it wasn't only in Texas.
Anyway, so I literally ran, not walked, to get an ice cream cone from Dairy Queen because I thought this was like a miracle sent from the gods. And I got an ice cream cone, which, so funny, sizes in China are so different than sizes in the US because their large was literally our small here. Mm-hmm. So weird. Anyway, you get an ice cream cone, I eat said ice cream cone. Now we're in China, we're on not a vacation, we were on a study abroad. Mm-hmm. So obviously I don't have a car, I don't speak the language, so it's really hard to navigate like a taxi or something. So we're taking the bus. It's easy, you swipe, you pay, you get on, you get off, like super simple, you know? Yeah. But the mall is like miles away from where we're staying, okay? And Shelbi is lactose intolerant. So we get on the bus from the mall after eating the ice cream cone, and I have to shit. There is no stopping it. If you're lactose intolerant and you've ever eaten dairy, you know this is not a good situation, okay? And this is, how many years ago was this now? Like 6 years ago?
I think so. Wow, that's crazy.
So crazy. So like I know better than to do anything like this these days, right? But this was like vegetarian Shelbi. Mm-hmm. She was still dabbling in the ice cream. I have to shit. There are no bathrooms. Do I know how to ask somebody where a bathroom is? No, because I'm in China and I don't speak Mandarin. So I get out of the bus and I'm like, okay, we're gonna try to walk to find a fast food place where I can go to the bathroom. There are no fast food places in sight.
Not at all. And man, when Shelbi gets to, like, she'll take her legs and they'll basically go from like this, where you're just walking, to like, they'll get really close together. She'll start pinching those butt cheeks and I'm like, oh no.
Basically, there was a park across the street from the bus stop where there were some trees that went down to the ground. I don't know what they were, but they were weird. Do you remember this? Like, we went inside the tree and no one could see me, and this is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me in my life, so I guess you can judge what happened next.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty rough time. I was like laughing as you were telling it because I was like, yep, that's pretty embarrassing.
Oh God, it was so bad. Okay, moving on. You go.
So let's see. Wow, this is pretty tough, but I mean, hey, we're putting it out there, right? So my embarrassing story is all Shelby's fault. I'm just gonna point that out right now. It's all Shelby's fault. We used to drive back and forth to Houston a lot. Like when we lived in College Station, it was like an hour or so to get to Shelby's parents' house, but the roads are just like insanely long. Like Texas roads are just like, even to find a gas station sometimes, it's a little challenging. So we're driving
State's huge.
Yeah, the state is so huge. So we're driving down the road and I'm driving and Shelby's the passenger. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I have to pee. And
Why
I'm like,
do these both revolve around us going to the bathroom?
I know, I just noticed that. But I was like, I really have to pee. And I was like, I'm gonna hold it. And then we drive, like, it's like, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, I gotta go so bad. Like, this is getting bad.
And I tell you, on road trips, Madison is notoriously bad at holding her pee.
Yeah, I am so bad. So what I do is I usually don't drink anything, but this time I'd been drinking, so I was like, I knew this was gonna happen. But sure enough, I'm like, there are no bathrooms anywhere. But I'm like, I don't want to stop. Like, I get so tired of stopping and like finding a place. Like, I just want to go. We do this drive all the time, like whatever. So I get this bright idea that whatever I was drinking, I was like, I'm gonna try to pee in this. I'm just gonna pee in it while I'm driving. And I get the cup.
Are you sure you were driving?
Yeah, I was. I was like, this is a bad idea, but I'm gonna get the cup while I'm driving and kind of like put it there, and I'm gonna pee and it'll be great. Who
thinks that, by the way? She still throws that out as like an option every now and then in my car, and I'm like, no, absolutely fucking not.
It's definitely complicated, but it can be done. So I start like pulling my pants down and positioning the cup, and I look over at Shelby and she's filming, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you
not filming
this?
By the way, this was again like probably 5 years ago on my phone. Not like I'm like fucking got a recorder.
No, like she's like on her phone. I look over and her phone is like this, and she's like, ah, this is so funny. And then we start like play fighting or whatever. / I'm like, the pee's like kind of not doing the best down here, so I'm like, let's pull over on the side of the road and like I'll finish peeing. And like, but why are you still recording me though? So she's
wrestling to get my phone out of my hand.
Yes, I'm wrestling to get her phone out of her hand, and that's why we end up like pulling over or whatever. So I end up going over to the side of her car, and I'm like, pants kind of halfway down, got the cup here. And I'm like, stop, what are you doing? This is so embarrassing. Like, stop recording me. Like, you never record people because it can end up on the internet. And sure enough, somehow or another, in the midst of us like wrestling, she posted the video of me like dancing around the side of the road with like my cup and like
she's
trying
literally her pants are like clearly at her knees and she's waddling like this around the car.
Yeah, Shelby posted it to Facebook while we were like squabbling, me trying to get
on purpose,
trying to get the phone to delete it so that it wouldn't end up on the internet, and she accidentally posted it to the internet. We didn't know that it was posted to the internet until Shelby started getting notifications from my family that I should never run to be a politician because of this video that's on the internet. And we're like, what? What did we post? And then we get on the internet and like it's been there for 10-15 minutes, which thank God it wasn't there for like longer, but people had already seen it and were commenting on it, and I'm just like, oh, there's not a whole lot more I can think of that's more embarrassing than getting something like that posted to Facebook. So that's my embarrassing story.
Mm-hmm. Which one was worse? Let us know. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for asking questions. We like these videos because we get to answer things that we don't normally get to talk about. And like I said, we get to talk about things more than we do like in our everyday lives. So if you like these, they could become more regular. I really don't know. We've been debating on uploading twice a week. We kind of took a break after the decluttering challenge, but it's something we've been considering. So let us know in the comments. And until next time.
Catch you later, Madisons.
Can you?
Okay, you can do it.
Do you think you can do it? Because you always like, so, yeah. Blech. You do that a lot. Blech. Okay, your turn.
God, I'm sweating.
Oh, why? On tech than I think a lot of people on the internet do. Do you want to tell them?
What is it?
We don't have problems with tech.
Why do you guys don't want to live? Hold on, what is this supposed to mean?
Why do you guys not want? Why do you guys don't want to? Whatever. Why do you guys take out the don't? Why do you guys want to leave San Antonio? Obviously.